Hey everybody, Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Matt Stanger here, and I saw Trap, and it's the first M. Night Shyamalan movie I've seen since Lady in the Water. Lady in the Water was an okay movie. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, I just watched it. And it kind of burned me out on M. Night Shyamalan, admittedly enough. Um, I kind of got burnt out on him putting himself basically as a messianic character in that movie. So I decided to give myself a long break from that movie because it could have worked, but it didn't hit the way he intended it to. At least I don't think so in my opinion anyway. So despite having a great cast and an interesting spin, like his own take on making a fairy tale, um it didn't quite hit for me, and I just didn't seem very interested in the other movies that he made after that, despite the fact that I did really like, of course, The Sixth Sense. I actually did like The Village, Signs, and Unbreakable as well. But I think by the time I finished watching Lady in the Water, I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm watching Shyamalan movies for a while. And then I saw the trailer for Trap a couple of months ago, and I was intrigued because I haven't seen Josh Hartnett in like a big movie in a while. And Josh Hartnett was the protagonist to one of my all-time favorite vampire movies, 30 Days of Night, which is the adaptation, of course, of my favorite vampire comic book, 30 Days of Night. Side note, if you're a vampire horror fan and you haven't watched or read 30 Days of Night, you should give it a try if you see it somewhere on streaming or wherever they have movies nowadays. Anyway, back to Trap. Trap, the central plot is that this is a concert that is set up to catch a serial killer. I like music, I like serial killer documentaries. So this movie seemed right up my alley, especially with Shyamalan directing it. I thought to myself, oh man, the twists that he can do in this kind of setting, having a serial killer loose in a concert venue that actually is a trap for him. On paper, it sounds spectacular. But I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed by it because it felt very disjointed. And mainly because it tried to be more of a concert movie than an action thriller movie. A lot of time in the first two-thirds of the movie was actually dedicated to Lady Raven, who was portrayed by Salika, if I'm not mistaken, is her name, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. And not to give too much away, although it's been almost a month since the movie's been out, not to give too much away, much like how Shyamalan was a messianic character, important character in Lady in the Water, Salika is almost a co-star and pretty much the hero of the movie in the first two-thirds of the movie. And she has a lot of screen time, especially in the portion when she's singing. Like, there's so many songs in this movie. It feels more like a concert movie that they just happen to put some action thriller elements in it, as opposed to an action thriller movie that has some elements of a concert because that was the environment it was set up in. And that's the big disconnect. And I know that I read afterwards that Shyamalan and his daughter both wanted to do a movie that combined a concert going experience and a movie going experience, kind of how Prince did with Purple Rain. But there is such a huge difference between a movie like Purple Rain and a movie like Trap. You get what I mean? And I feel like it kind of fell short on both ends as being a concert experience and the movie going experience, because I personally found myself during those concert portions of the movie. I was just waiting, tapping my finger for not to the tune of the music, but because I was getting anxious because I just wanted the concert portion of the movie to finish, just so the plot could keep going. And that's the big problem. There's like so many starts and stops to the plot of the movie because it feels like they're forcing the concert element. And Salika, she's a fine singer, I guess, and she wrote and produced all the music in the movie. Um, it's your regular pop music fare. It's fine enough, but her acting, kind of like her father, is not the greatest. So that doesn't help either. So I went like from one movie almost a decade ago, maybe decades ago, um, where I had enough of a Shyamalan because of the protagonism and self-insert of one movie, to finally see another Shyamalan movie where there's a Shyamalan where they're pretty much the protagonist and kind of just inserted in there. Like, if you cut out most of those music portions of the movie, it doesn't affect the plot of the movie at all. It feels unnecessary. Like, if they would have trimmed it down portions of the concert and fleshed out the relationship with the serial killer and his daughter, who he takes to that concert, it would have been a much better film, in my opinion. And also, uh, it felt more like it was a vehicle for his daughter's singing and musical career than an actual movie. It felt more like a commercial for her album or future albums, or what have you. It really felt disconnect, like a very disconnected movie. And at one point, I was thinking to myself, you know who would have made a great movie of a serial killer trapped in a concert venue? Joel Schumacher. Clown on him all you want for Batman and Robin, but Joel Schumacher, rest in peace. He was a solid director. He made banger of movies, and knowing of his trajectory and a little bit of his personality through interviews and whatnot, I think he would have been all for making a movie of a pop starlet participating in a trap to catch a serial killer in a concert. Now, that would have been an amazing movie, in my opinion, if Joel Schumacher had done Trap. But no, instead, if you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, I guess it's okay enough. You'll get your Shyamalan fix if you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan. But it must be nice to have him as a father, and I hate to play the nepotism card, but I think the role of Lady Raven could have been better with someone else. At the very least, the acting portion. Like, if they would have had a different actress and have Salika doing the voiceover for the singing, I think that would have been fine enough, and the movie probably would have been better for it. But at the same time, a lot of the musical portions of the movie were really unnecessary to begin with. So I think that's pretty much what killed the movie, aside from some logical gaps as well. Because, like, in the last third of the movie, there are some big gaps in logic where you think to yourself, well, if this character had done that from the beginning, all of this could have been avoided. Yeah, it's one of those movies that it just falls apart at the end if you really start thinking about it. Though it is kind of funny that there was one point where Josh Hartnett takes his shirt off, and it made me think like, huh, I really need to get in shape.
I want some man meat.
But that's a whole other topic for a whole other video. At the end of the day, if you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan, go ahead and watch it. If you're a movie going fan that's attracted to kind of serial killer, action thriller kind of movie, my personal opinion, you can wait to stream it because it's not like a movie going experience, unlike what it says on the screen from that poster, an M Night Shyamalan experience. God, I forget how it. I don't know the guy in real life. He could be the sweetest person, but damn it, it sounds so self-important. You can wait for streaming for this one, honestly. Anyway, I'm out. I think I'm just gonna end this and go watch 30 Days of Night. Have a good day, folks.